Good evening, everyone, or if you are tuning in from Europe, good morning, or if you're tuning in from anywhere else, hello. This is the Liberlancer Showcase stream, a part of events organised by the Starport for the 20th anniversary of Microsoft's Freelancer. So, let's get straight into it. So, Liberlancer, for those of you who are unsure or haven't heard much about it yet, is a replacement game engine for Freelancer, and it's also a set of modding tools. It's written in a mix of C# and C++ with some C thrown in. It targets .NET 6 and OpenGL ES version 3.1, which is approximately a DirectX 10 feature level, targeting sort of any computer released within the past 10 years or so. It also targets the Raspberry Pi, and it runs on Windows, Linux, 32-bit, 64-bit, as well as 64-bit ARM. Today I am presenting on a i7-113070H with Intel Xe graphics and 16GB of RAM, and the screen's not showing. Of course, let's put that back on there. Wonderful. So, let's do that again. Here is the events. Here's what Liberlancer is, if you want to look at that. And here are our system specs. So that's an Intel i7-113070H, 4 cores, 3 threads on Intel Xe integrated graphics, 60GB of RAM, and today we are running Fedora 37. Right, so now let's get into it, now that you guys can see my screen. So we're going to start with some of the modding tools that are available. And the noise I'm not going to quite be able to fix, so just bear with me. So, we've got first Lancer Edit, which is the main modding tool for Liberlancer, and this covers a few things. This covers... is the mic too loud? 1 second. So in this... Well, I've had a listen to the stream itself, and it seems to be... Would I use a laptop mic? Let's try this. So I'm going to be... what's it called? I'm going to be on this microphone from now on. And so we'll go into the modding tools. Wonderful, this is going fantastically. So we've got Lancer Edit here, and the first and main thing this is a model viewer. So if I open up here a model, you'll recognize this one, as well as its associated texture file here. This is Juni's Defender, and for Juni's Defender we can see several types of modes with this model. We can try it with lighting, we can try it completely flat, we can try it with normals, which is very helpful for seeing if your model is broken. And we can also see the V-mesh wire. We'll have a look at that in the game itself, but this will appear in sort of a targeting window when you select the object in game. We also get to see the hard points and the various parts of it, so we can view some of these. So this is where the engine can come off, the wing can come off, and these ones here are the weapons at the front of the ship. So I hope it's sounding okay now. We also have new, very recent, visualizing the vertex models, vertex normals on the model. So we see all those colored lines here. We also have a few other tools. So we have the ability to import and export models, the ability to generate icons to use within the game, the ability to look at info cards, which if we go here and we open a Freelancer ini, we can go look at all those strings and all that flavor text, as it were. We have an ability to look at curves, look at the AI state graph, look at projectiles, and we can also play audio files from within the game. And you'll notice on this specific file you just have the hash, which is how it's stored, and we can use that resolve audio hashes option to open our Freelancer directory, and it's going to tell us what the sound is.
This is the Omaha. Give yourselves up. You are outnumbered and outgunned. Return the president and we will spare your life.
And there we go. That's one of our story voice lines. So this is going to be fairly quick. The next tool I would like to show you is the THN player. THN is the cutscene format for Freelancer, and we can open our Freelancer install to make sure we have all those models and textures loaded in, and then we can open one of the script files, and this script file is going to show in the player here. So we're going to be really simple. We're going to look at the menu, and here we have the script decompiled as they normally come in a binary format. And here we have the scene playing in our player here. This is pretty useful for those of you who are making mods, as you can go in and just load any of your cutscene, or in this case main menu background scripts, without having to launch a whole instance of the game, go to the base, etc. Then, a fairly new one is the interface editor. Now this one is unique to modding LibreLancer as opposed to just the base Freelancer game, and what this allows us to do is modify all of the aspects of the user interface, including the code and the appearance. So we've got, for example, the main menu, we've got the Colony News Service, the options menu, and the ship dealer, which doesn't quite show until you go to play, which will give you a mock environment to test out your user interface in. And ship dealer was the wrong one to use. I wanted commodity. So we can test that out in here. And this is how I put together the user interface that we are going to see right now. So we'll get straight into the game, and we are going to launch it. Here we go. Freelancer, as done on the LibreLancer engine. So some things we can do here is we've got our options, we've got anti-aliasing, which is new with LibreLancer. We're at 4 times multi-sampled. I've got anisotropic filtering, which again improves, and we've gone for 16 times. We've got the audio levels here, and we have the controls here. And these are mapped, and they work great. So let's go in, and we're going to watch the opening cutscene of Microsoft's Freelancer rendered in the LibreLancer engine.
Roger that. All systems show green. SA-14, you're cleared for departure.
Acknowledge, Freeport 7. We'll see you in about 2 weeks.
SA-14, we're picking up unknown contacts on long-range sensors. We're dispatching a fighter wing to escort you out of the system. Godspeed.
Navy Command, this is Freeport 7. We're picking up some strange readings on the long-range sensors.
Alert! Unknown ships have breached the defense perimeter. Man all stations! Incoming! Brace for impact!
President Jacoby has asked the LSF to investigate the sudden destruction of Freeport 7. No word yet on whether it was accidental or a deliberate attack. The first handful of survivors arrived on Manhattan this morning.
We're here for medical. Is there anyone seriously injured?
One. Inside. Make sure he lives. He owes me some credits.
Your concern is touching. We'll do everything we can. It may take a while.
Officially, the Liberty Security Force maintains there is no proof Freeport 7's destruction was deliberate, but sources inside the LSF say they suspect the dangerous criminal organization, the Order. We will keep you up to date as the story develops.
Okay, so here we are in the story. So, you may have noticed that Trent's face was a little bit interesting. The animations aren't quite fully reverse engineered yet, but that is the current state of the cutscene engine. And we've got this lovely dialogue here, which has been spawned by our implementation of the mission scripting, and we're going to go get our first objective. So, let's go and look in the bar.
Sidewinder Fang. All we have is Liberty Ale, friend. Fine. Her name's Junko Zane. She's a tough one. Oh, why's that? She's LSF. All business. If it's a job you're wanting, that is. On the other hand, if you're looking for something more...
Well, the only thing I'm looking for right now is this drink.
I know you.
No, I don't think so.
The news. I saw your face on the news. You're one of the Freeport 7 survivors, aren't you?
Yeah.
I heard it was pretty bad out there. You know, you're lucky to be alive.
Huh.
This one's on me, friend. It's the good stuff.
Why?
Because it's not every day a man has the chance to start again, huh? To your good fortune and liberty, sir.
Well, it can't get any worse. Thanks.
Excellent, so we've also got some room NPCs implemented, though at the moment they're just the ones spawned by the mission scripts. We haven't got those ambient ones there quite yet. We can take a look at the Colony News Service while we're in here. Got famous Manhattan artist kidnapped, so these are the same ones as in the end of the story, and once we get a bit more mission scripting through, these will reflect your current point in the story. We can see the information of the planet we're on, Planet Manhattan, and I believe we can see a small implementation of the nav map. A bit messy, but we're getting there. So let's go ahead now and talk to Junie.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't have nearly enough people.
Junie, the environment has changed. Well, with groups like the Order taking more and more liberties, indeed now threatening our profits, some in the government feel that we need to increase our patrols in these areas.
You Junko Zane?
Yes?
I believe you have business to discuss.
Wait!
I will leave this matter in your capable hands.
Sorry. The bartender said you work for the Liberty Security Force.
And who do you work for, Mr.
Trent. I work for myself.
What kind of ship do you have?
I lost mine on Freeport 7.
I see. Are you staying in Liberty long?
I've got a friend who was injured in the attack. He's in medical. I'll be staying at least until he's released.
Well, as it happens, I could use a good freelancer, Mr. Trent. I'll be in the equipment room later. You can meet me there. Oh, and if we are going to work together, call me Junie.
So, you'll notice at the moment we don't have a ship, as we are... oh gosh. As we haven't been given one yet by Junie. So we can see all of these ships, but we're not going to have the money to buy them yet. So, into the equipment dealer we go.
Hello?
I'm pleased to see you. Are you ready to work for the LSF, Mr. Trent?
It's just Trent. And yeah, I'm here to see what you have to offer.
Well, I found this ship for you. It's very basic, and you won't have jump access yet, but it should be good enough for now. This assignment will be easy. All you have to do is babysit a convoy of food and medical supplies. You'll be hooking up with the escort CO King. I'll tell him to expect you. That is, of course, if you're interested.
Sounds good. I'm in.
Good, better get going. I'll have your ship moved immediately. All you'll have to do is go to the landing pad and launch. King will be waiting for you near the docking ring in space, okay? I'll see you when you get back.
Thanks.
Hey Trent, I'm King, the CO of this mission. I contacted the lead transport of the convoy. They've completed pre-launch checks and are ready to go. Should be an easy run from here to Fort Bush and then on to Pittsburgh. Ready?
It's good to meet you, King. Is that a Rhineland cruiser?
That's the Donau, Admiral Shulsky's flagship. He's visiting Manhattan to attend a high-level meeting with President Jacoby. Keep your distance.
Newark Station, this is RNC Donau, requesting clearance to dock with your station. Over.
Affirmative, Donau. You are cleared for docking point 6. Liberty welcomes you and Admiral Shulsky. Donau, be advised, we're picking up unknown contacts. Advise caution.
Understood, Newark. All escorts, power up weapon.
Affirmative. Ready to engage.
Roger. Tracking incoming ships.
Maintain your ships. This is Newark Station. You are entering restricted space. Alter course at once or we will open fire.
Newark, do not interfere. We're here to protect the president. Shulsky's a traitor.
All escorts, open fire.
Red alert. Donau is. Launch all rescue and defensive units. All fast engage enemy ships.
So, oh my goodness.
Damn it! They blew up the Donau! Newark, this is LSF Patrol Gamma 6. Engaging enemy! Cleared for alarm start.
The order will pay for this. Escort wing, fire at will.
Understood. Targeting all enemy ships.
Trent, we can't let them get away. Engage the enemy.
Right, let's have a check of the microphone. Yep, now on microphone time. I wonder how much you guys heard me talking before, but we'll find out. Goodness. Let's double check. Yep. Microphone is very loud. And it was very loud for a while, wasn't it? Interesting. So, here we are. We've just had the Donau explode. And we shall go shoot some NPCs. They're not too smart.
Contacts. We read you. Radar is clear. SAR, report. Did you pick up any survivors?
Negative, Newark. We're continuing our sweep.
To all utility ships in the area, scan for survivors. All other vessels, return to normal duty, but stay alert. Trent, there's nothing more we can do here. The transports are waiting at Fort Bush. I've uploaded a waypoint to your neural net. Just fly toward it.
Newark, sweep is complete. No survivors detected. Over.
Right, I just waited that to pass, and I have turned the microphone back up. And now I've got the chat working. So, yeah. So this is the last bit of the single-player story that works for now. We're going to fly to the trade lane, and we're going to dock.
SAR, return to base.
Roger that.
I can't believe it. How did they get this close to Manhattan without being detected? First report 7. Now this. It's getting out of control. Alright, we've reached the trade lane. Engaging activation sequence. Trent, you go first.
So we're going to dock of this trade lane, and we're going to go see the USV Brant. Once we go through this trade lane,
activation sequence completed.
Let King
Lane
speak.
Jump initiated. This is it, Trent. This is one of the major arteries through Manhattan space. We're only taking it as far as Fort Bush. If we kept going, we'd reach the jump gate to the Colorado system. Transport leader, this is LSF Patrol Gamma 6. We're here to escort you to Pittsburgh, over.
Roger, Gamma 6, this is the USV Brant. Pre-launch checks have been completed.
Trent, take up a position near the transport. Use the formation maneuver to link up with the convoy.
And once we get to this part of the game, the triggers are no longer quite working, so we'll stop it there, but that is the single-player experience of Libre Lancer thus far. mic aside, this seems to be an interesting stream. Right, so we're going to now show the multiplayer. And this is going to be very live, in that we are doing multiplayer over the internet. So I've actually hosted this on LeaveAlancer.net. And here is my character. So, some things about the multiplayer is that it's a little bit different to the original Freelancer. Because we are open source and basically anyone could create a client to connect to this server, we've made it more server authoritative, which means that the server decides where you are, who got hit by a projectile, how much money you have, etc. So the server does require more resources to run than LeaveAlancer, than the Freelancer client, but we have a little bit more resistance against cheating. So I'm going to load in, and here I am. I obviously disconnected in space, and here I am firing a missile. So I'm going to dock and undock just to show you the docking process now, including the animations. And we've got our same things as in single player, because single player actually runs a small server. So we've got our commodity dealer. I'm going to buy 30 boron, and we're going to go back out into space. And here we are with my good friend here who has the turtle emoji as their name. I'm going to say hello to them. And they're gonna shoot some weapons. And I won't torture you too much with both of us being unable to participate in PvP effectively, but I'll just fire a missile at them. Oh no, ran out. There you go. And I'll get them to fire at me once they aim. I gotta find out where I am. We'll keep spinning. Maybe they can't see me. Right. Yeah, they can't see me. There you go. So that's them firing at me. With their little turtle emoji. And probably in a future release you won't be able to have an emoji as your name, as it's a bit difficult to manage a server when you can't type people's usernames. Though, yeah, that's the text rendering engine, can handle that as well. So I'm going to get them to dock with Manhattan to show that the animations are also syncing. And it would be that the stream is skipping frames, unfortunately. Living in Australia, our internet's not great at the best of times, but the game is running at a steady 60 frames per second, and I believe I can show the debug menu here. Oh, nope. Yep. And that's going to give our selected object and our FPS. So, and that's going to get my friend here to dock with that docking ring. on AFK. But I will show you a little bit more of the various gameplay things, so we can engage our cruise engines as we saw earlier. The ping is a great question. The ping for this server is 84. We've sent 700 kilobytes and received 1.4 megabytes. So far, yep, they're definitely AFK. So LibraLancer.net is hosted in Singapore. I'm from South Australia, so... Oh, I've lost him. No, he's still there. So we haven't got much latency compensation available, and there is a pretty big latency between the chat and what I'm doing, so if I'm answering these questions a bit late, that's big stream latency. Thank you, YouTube. So we've got our cruise engines, we have our reverse thrust, and I might go blow them up, show you that. I am dead. I have a feeling that their internet cut out, and it's just shot all the things at me at once. So, the debug menu works in the on base as well, though it is fairly limited here. I'll undock again. Yes. That'll be it. So player limit is... You can set any player limit in the configuration file. I haven't tested it to go too high. It's probably gonna stop working at about 10, and we can see that departing player turtle there. So, I'm going to scroll back up and answer a couple more questions that I didn't see before. So in terms of the model import, there are two formats that we see we can import into LibreLancer Freelancer Edit, and those are Collada, which is .dae, and GLTF. These both export from Blender. So I'll actually show you the model importer now. And we will... Oh, did I go to model importer? Yep, so let's see if I've got a file here that I can just open. This is just an export of the Dragon, the Kasari Elite. We've got some LODs. And it's going to show you this. It's going to show generate materials. We're going to leave that ticked for now. And it just generates some default materials because Blender doesn't give us much information, but we finished that and we have turned our Kasari Elite into a model. And that gives us the texture library, material library, and the various sub things to do with this is it currently doesn't support creating the wireframes, which I will just go now show you. That wireframe there. And it doesn't support making the hitboxes yet, but that is something I plan to get done next. So GLTF also works as well as Collada does when it comes to our importer. I just didn't have a GLTF model on hand. I'll just go back into LibreLancer.net and I will show you the wireframe view. Just here we go. So this is what the mesh wire would create. in terms of how it runs on the Pi, it really does depend on the cooling of the Pi, which model and how you're running it. I have been testing using Ubuntu on a Raspberry Pi 400, so that's got a really big heatsink on it, and it runs at approximately 30 FPS at 720p without the extra anti-aliasing. And there's a plane. Don't know if you heard that, that was pretty loud. Without the anti-aliasing and anisotropic filtering. That is actually mostly GPU limited. We have some extra graphical enhancements in Freelancer, including per pixel lighting, which we do disable for the Pi, although it's always at resolution and fill rate. In terms of the future focus, okay, you guys did hear the plane, it was pretty loud. It's mostly going to be on the gameplay front and a little bit more of that custom importing. The gameplay front, I would like to get at least that first whole mission playable within the next 6 months. Other missions do work to various degrees, though it gets a little more hairy with some of those extra triggers, as the mission scripts do get reasonably complex. And I will show you also the server configuration file. We use a database for players, which is a bit more robust than the flat files. And there's admin settings, you can change the port, and there's also login URL. I'm not going to be able to show this to you right now because the server's not running on my computer, though actually yes I can. So this here is our secure login system. And I'll show you once more quickly, and then you directly start that server. So on a local network, this is the server I was going to use before I quickly moved it onto our VPS. Oh. Page cannot be found. Was it API? Excellent. Yes, so username and password login. And this user account will be different to the one that I just used, as it will be a new account linked to my username and password. And I think I've forgotten the password for it. Yeah, so this is a secure way of logging into a server, and it's independent of the key, your kind of per machine key, that the general freelancer use. So you could deploy this app. It's a web app. The client will only accept encrypted connections, and these credentials are stored in a separate database, which you would deploy on your login server. The server database file itself does not handle authentication. It just has a unique ID to represent the user, and that way you've got that separation of logging in and the gameplay, so we can keep that login secure. And I believe that is pretty much it for today's stream. I want to thank you all very much for persisting through the technical difficulties, particularly with the microphone. And I hope to get some more updates out to you guys. And thank you very much for watching. It's not